All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Buddies. How's it going, addicts?
Yeah, it's kid. I'm tired.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and I'm sure by now you you may or may not know who we're doing this week. Do you wanna try and guess this one out? Give you
Well,
some
I'm
hints.
looking at Addict's guessing page, and could literally be anybody.
It could be. So I'm gonna give you some hints here. This character that we're talking about originally debuted her first comic. It is a she. Debuted in 2004, so she's fairly new. However, her story has been retconned all the way back to our first appearance of Spider-Man. So she's been around since the 60s in Marvel timeline, but her first ever comic came out in 2004.
I'm just gonna say She-Hulk.
Okay,
No, no,
okay,
Miss Marvel.
okay. None of those were right. Your last hint, she was played by Kristen Ritter. I'm hoping I said that right. In in our live adaptation, if you know who that is. She's all
Jessica Jones.
Yes, we are doing Jessica Jones this week. So unfortunately, Marvel Unlimited does not have her debut comic. They do have her appearance in that first Amazing Fantasy number 15 in 1962, but being as she's literally just a background character and could be any character there, I decided not to cover that. Also, since we did it for our Spider-Man episode. Um, but she is a private investigator created by Brian Michael Bendis, who's also the guy responsible for making other and writing important stories and characters such as Miles Morales and a couple other newer characters. And again, she was retconned into Amazing Fantasy, but she debuted in her own comic on September of 2001 in Alias number one. Um, and her real name isn't actually Jessica Jones, it's Jessica Campbell, who was born in Forest Hills, Queens, right near where Midtown High is, where she attended classes with Peter Parker, um, whom she even did have a crush on back in high school. The two attended Midtown High, and then even attended the same symposium where that day at the Hall of Science, Peter was bitten by the radioactive spider. When she wanted to confront Peter and ask her out, Peter kind of brushed her aside and ran off to go home and then mutate and have spider powers. Um, when she went home that day, though, she she did not mutate. She went home and pulled out pictures of the Human Torch and
Well, how about that?
proceeded to, if that um you know helps the yeah. Anyway, um the reason she did that was because um she obviously has feelings for Human Torch, but she's interrupted by her younger brother, who comes in running when he tells her that her dad, who's an employer of none other than Tony Stark, has given them Disney tickets. So they're on their way to go to Disney, and they get in a car.
Were they already owned by Disney at this point, or?
No, they were not at this point owned by Disney, but it's
Wow, the
funny.
irony.
Yeah. So they're on their way down to Disney, and there is they so on their way to Disney they pass a military truck, and said military truck is of course carrying some sort of vat of disgusting nasty acids, and boom, her car crashes into that military truck. Terrible driving, and she gets her whole family dies, and she gets put into a coma, or and then she doesn't wake up around until that whole event that we covered last time with Galactus. She doesn't wake up until that Galactus invasion where the Fantastic Four come in, that first invasion of Earth by Galactus that we covered in Galactus episode 1. You should go back and watch that if you haven't. It's on the YouTube link in chat. Anyway, um she's sent to an orphanage called what was it? The Moore House for Wayward Children, and she was adopted by Alicia Jones, thus taking the name Jessica Jones. But her powers didn't actually develop from those vat of chemicals. It was a mixture of the chemicals and also the planet being mutated by Galactus when he began consuming it, or like attempting to consume it. Um, when she developed her powers, it included a lot more than just what you normally see. Um, she had superhuman strength and durability, but also a lot of others that she'll develop throughout. When she came back, she was to school at Midtown High. She was bullied by Flash Thompson, and Peter, having this understanding, attempted to befriend her and let her know that he was there for her because he too, you know, is also a superhero, and that's what he does. But she misinterpreted it and ran off, where she discovered that she had the ability to
Oh
fly.
no, Peter Parker likes me.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, she does have the power to fly. However, uh, she crashed into the Hudson, where Thor had to save her. And what a wild day. Eventually, she tries to fly again, but this time she crashes into Scorpion, who was robbing a bank that Spider-Man was trying to stop. And after realizing that if Spider-Man could do it, so could she. She gets on, she puts on a suit of spandex, I guess, and she becomes the superhero named Jewel, right? And for a while, she's doing well. She's taking care of like basic petty criminals, but she gets to a restaurant where there's a couple dudes making nonsense, and a guy by the name of Zebediah Kilgrave has like his own guards, like pretty much beat her up. And when he realizes that she is overpowering everyone there, Zebediah then proceeds to overpower her will and take her over. Zebediah Kilgrave is also known as the Purple Man.
I was about to say Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah saying Zebediah Kilgrave is known as the Purple Man, whose powers, by the way, is not for him. He does not deserve the powers that he has. This guy, this guy right here, does not deserve his powers. Imagine what you could do with the power to control people. His literal power is the power to control people. This dude, by the way, made Iron Man, controlled Iron Man, and forced him to make him a satellite that would
Okay.
that would get everyone in the world to follow his orders, like spread his powers, right? Once he subjugated the planet, he lost to a robot and Captain America. This guy, the guy that can control everyone, lost to Vision and Captain America. Bunch of terrible. This guy does not deserve the powers that he has, bro.
Well, I mean, Captain America is strong.
He is strong,
Vision, strong.
strong, strong. Does not deserve his powers. But anyway, um,
You don't deserve your powers either.
I don't. I'm I'm relinquishing my spider powers for my Doctor Strange powers. Wee wee wee. Anyway, um, besides the point. He takes her and then pretty much controls her for her entire life. He takes like I guess a couple years off her life and controls her for a long extent. And his pretty much his main goal is to kill the Devil of Hell's Kitchen himself, Daredevil. But while mind controlled, Jessica didn't know like, or I guess Kilgrave didn't know the range of his own powers. So when he sent Jessica to kill Daredevil, he was so far away that his powers weakened, and instead of attacking Kilgrave, he went after the first red-suited hero, or I guess in this case heroine, he could find, and it was the Scarlet Witch. So instead of fighting off Daredevil, he took on Scarlet Witch she took on Scarlet Witch in the Avengers. When touching Scarlet Witch, her chaos powers kind of inflicted her or affected her, and she lost like she regained her control back from herself, lost that like touch that Kilgrave had on her, and um she ran off because she believed that she was like gonna go to jail for fighting the Avengers and whatnot. Running off is kind of like a thing that she does every once in a while now. But she tries to like turn her life around and go back to the superhero business. So she changes and becomes the Nitress, but it only goes for like about a week, and she
Mhm.
ends up opening her own private investigation called Alias Investigation, where the first person to hire her would be none other than her future husband Luke Cage, who needs help hunting down his father. Yep. They go on this like whole thing, and then they end up doing it and having a kid. It's cool. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about her powers, and then I'll get into the one comic I thought was actually kind of decent, which was Jessica Jones' Blind Spot. There's a lot of like her story that is really long, but also her stories are very much, since it's about a private investigator, not the action beat up a group of supervillains type, but more of the slow paced who done it murder mystery.
The Batman movie.
Yeah, like the first 2 hours of the Batman movie, like who done it, who's the killer kind of thing. Um, so her powers, we all know she has that super strength and the durability, but she also does have an accelerated healing factor because every superhero does. You wouldn't be one
Of
without one.
course.
She has the ability to fly, like I.
Oh, where was Iron Man? Oh,
Oh, it's probably in a suit somewhere, I guess. I don't know. Um,
oh,
but
yeah. Oh.
she does have the ability to fly. However, she doesn't fly because apparently she does get airsick. So so yeah, that's why she doesn't fly. And she also has the normal superhuman longevity, the ability to live like over an extended period of years in our time in comparison to their time, because of
Man, I'm just
radiation.
690 years
Exactly.
old.
Debuted in the 60s, but is only 22 in 2018, so or something like that. And thanks to the radiation or her like being under the control of Kilgrave as well as training with Jean Grey, she's resistant to telepathic attacks or like infiltration. Um, so that's pretty much Jessica Jones's powers and her background as best as I could give it because I didn't have like an actual comic where she debuted. If you want to read it, it's called what is that debut comic? Alias number 1. It should be this one, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys want to read it. It's pretty good. So
No.
it is. I mean, it's very long, but it's pretty good. Anyway, so we'll
You
start.
know I'm short on time.
We are, but we don't have it. Anyway, we start off with Jessica Jones wearing a what is Miss Marvel outfit and talking to some dude. So this dude is the person that has been causing the trouble in this comic. So she's talking about him. She's like, "Do I really have to wear?" She's like telling her backstory, like, "Yeah, I was Jewel once, and you don't want to do this. Remember when I'm free, it's whatever what I do isn't gonna be my fault. It's gonna be on you." And then we cut back to the beginning of the story, which is Jessica with Luke and her child, and they're talking about like this birthday party that they want to have for her. And Luke is completely distracted. He is, in fact, watching these kids over here play basketball, and he is like, "Yo, this kid in the shorts cannot defend, bro. The kid in the I gotta go, bro. I can't forget this. Whatever you're telling me, I gotta go coach this kid. Like, yo, red shorts, bro. You gotta D up, bro." And everyone's like, "Yo, what is this guy on about?" um, let's talk a little bit about defense, guys. um, and anyway, Jones like she ends up going back to her office, Alias Investigations, and when she opens it, she realizes something's off, and there's a dead body. She's like, "What the hell's going on?" And she tries to
Oh
feel.
no,
Oh no! She tries to feel the
not a dead body.
not a dead body, but she tries to feel like the pulse on her neck, and the police come. And they're like,
Yeah, is that right?
that is 100%
Build
right.
pulse of a dead body.
Well, yeah, she tries to identify if it's dead or alive. If she can, if there's
Great,
no
great,
pulse, she's dead.
great detective. Great detective.
Yep, 100%. Anyway, police come and they arrest
Respect.
her. She's like, all right, like don't move, and they're like, drop your phone. She drops it. Her screen cracks. This is important. And then they like do that cop thing where they put their knee on her back and whatnot, and then always with
Yeah,
the knee
that
in the
cop
back
thing.
kind of that cop thing. Always with the knee in the back crap. Anyway, they take her in, and here are these two cops, young guy and old guy, and they're like giving her a hard time. Not important who they are, but they're like hauling her ass, like trying to put piece to piece. He's like, I've been here for 6 hours. I want a phone call. And he's like, sure, a couple questions. You have powers? Yes. There was a woman in your office dead, right? It's like, it's not my apartment, it's my office. And it's like, oh, there's a bed. And he's like, yeah, I sleep there on occasion. He's like, you got trouble at home or something? And she's like, no, what's the point of this? I'm on the phone books, blah, blah, blah. And they're pretty much like, do you know who this girl is? It's like, wait, is she alive? She's like, oh no, she's dead. How do you know about that? And she's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I was checking her pulse, but your cops came in and busted in. And, she's like, the whole thing is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I've been framed kind of situation. Like, she's been put up. It's like, if you're not charging me, let me go. She's like, might not want to make that threat. You don't know who the girl is, and you should take a look. And she's like, oh my god, I know who that is. That's the blind spot. Haha. That's the title of the comic. It's Dia. It's a friend. So we cut back to Dia, and it's about 6 years ago. She's asking her that she has a problem, and she's like, um, she's like, she doesn't want to tell her the true problem. She's like, yeah, it's me. I have this problem. I'm the problem. Um, and she's like, I really just feel stupid. I know you were like an Avenger, which she denies because she wasn't, but she eventually does join the Avengers. And she's like, I had this boyfriend, Thea's like, I have this boyfriend, Jared. I've been in love with him for as long as I can remember, since high school. Um, and he's been doing like bad things, and Jessica immediately is like, he's hurting you, and he's like, yes, not physically. I mean, yes, technically physically, but not really. He's a good guy. And she's like, maybe you should, get some protection. He's like, no, no, that's not what I mean. I don't know what to say. So she's like, I can only like, oh shit, oops, my bad, mouse button. It's like, I can only push you in the my bad. I can only push you in like the right direction. I can't actually, my bad. Where was I? Where was I? Too far, too far, too far, too far. Okay. Um, it's like, I can only push you in the right direction. I can't actually tell you what to do. And she's like, I think you might be cheating on me. She's like, okay, I'm not sure that's it's gonna be simple. And if I find the truth, it might not be something that you're like willing to like what's the word I'm looking for? Like if I find the truth, you might not like what I find, kind of situation. And we cut back to the office, modern day, and she's like, yeah, this was Dia. She was a client of mine. She's like, I don't have much time. I found her a cheating boyfriend, took pictures, but she disappeared. I went looking for a boyfriend because the boyfriend seemed unstable, and she's like, I don't remember. I have files, but they were all back in an explosion a couple months ago, some previous comic. And then, lo and behold, in comes her lawyer. Do you want to guess who her lawyer is? All right, it's Addicts. It's Daredevil. Um,
I was literally about to say Daredevil,
okay, yeah.
but I had to mute my microphone because my parents had to come in here and talk.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, it's just Daredevil.
No worries.
It's
Anyway,
obviously Daredevil.
yes.
He's always the lawyer.
Sometimes it's She-Hulk, but anyway, um, or sometimes it's both. Anyway,
Ooh.
ooh, yeah, I hit the space bar and it keeps going up. Anyway, anyway,
Prop question.
yeah, what's up?
Would Daredevil have been able to have won Johnny Depp's case?
100%, 100%. Yo, he wouldn't have lost that one. No, no way, bro. He would have. Yo, like, 100%, bro. He would have been on that bed, stopping her from taking that dump, bro. Anyway, um,
Beautiful.
mwah.
Cool.
Anyway, she, they're like, all right, you're free to go, and then she actually, instead of letting them uncuff her, she just breaks off the chains, just to show that she could have left whenever she wanted. And it's like, they're talking about that, and just like, look, just let me know if pretty much what they're talking about, like how Luke called him and how he was going on about how he bought some of the wrong stuff. And she's like, look, if they put you in jail again, just call me. I'll get you out. She's like, okay, thanks. And then she goes back to her apartment. Um, Luke calls her and tells her like, you gotta come home now. We miss you. Like, there's like a whole bunch of things going on, and he's telling her like, just don't be late or I won't give you any soup dumplings. Right. Anyway, she goes in. There's a bunch of fingerprint dust everywhere that the cops left, and she's trying to look for that like old case file that Dia left her. And when she does, she ends up finding like old pictures of Dia, her cat, and her boyfriend. It's her boyfriend. Her cat's name is Meatball. You'll figure that out later. But anyway, um, she starts like investigating, but she ends up falling asleep doing that investigation. And when she wakes up, she realizes it's been like 9 hours, and she has missed calls from Luke, and she's getting ready. She's trying to wake up and trying to like head back home, but she hears something. She's like, oh, maybe it's Luke. She goes and she checks. She's like, huh, Luke doesn't make my arm stand on the end. I don't remember leaving that window open. Whoosh. And she's like looking around. She's like, my heart's hammering. I can't hear myself think. Something's going on. And then she hears the dude come up, tells him don't, and she dies. That's the end of the story.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway, the next character we're
Well,
doing is
today's been Marvel
Magneto.
Buddies.
That's been Marvel Buddies. The next character we're doing is Magneto again. Anyway, that's lies. Um, so we move on to chapter 2, where she's been in this sort of like prison or whatever, and she's letting her know that like when she breaks out, she's gonna beat him up, and that she needs a masseuse and a chef because she's hungry and her neck hurts. Blah blah blah. She's just toying with the dude. But we get back to her story, and she's in the hospital with Luke, and she's like, "Oh, you ate all the soup dumplings?" And he's like, "You're damn right I did. I waited for you for like an hour. This was way more than an hour." And she gets up, and she's like, "I'm just happy that you're alive." And Luke is hugging her, and she's like, "Not right now. My stomach hurts because, whatever." She's like, "Where's Danny?" And please tell me there's not like a billion superheroes in the lobby. And like literally every superhero is here. Like I can't even name everyone here. Um, I can name like these guys, but then I don't know who this face is. She looks kind of weird. And then I think this is Moondragon. Oh no, that's Iron Fist. Anyway, here's all the heroes. Happy birthday, and they all hug her. Um, Captain Marvel, being like a close friend, starts talking to her. She's like, "We're gonna go back with Jello and a sandwich," and they go, and she's like, "Well, are you? She's like, blah 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 blah. Well, I guess that answers the question of, can you take a bullet? She's like, maybe. She's like, what do you mean maybe? She's like, you took the bullet and you're still here, right? She's like, what? Like I was sure I died, and she's like, but that's not what the ENT says, because they found the bullet, but there was no wound. She's like, I'm telling you, I know when I died. She's like, all right, don't talk to me. I've never been dead before. And she's like, I'm gonna ask someone to take the super fancy off my name, and blah blah blah, asking for favors. Pretty much, they start talking about like whether or not she could have survived the bullet and what's actually going on. She's like, this is all kind of mysterious. And so she gets up. The doctor's like, you were shot and you need to stay here. I would advise it against it. And she's like, I got superpowers. I don't treat this like a normal bullet wound victim. And he's like, it's just too soon. He's like, I feel fine. And she walks off. She's like, we're gonna figure out exactly what's going on. And it's like, I gotta go move somewhere where there's no superheroes. Where do you think that would be, Addicts? Where do you think there one place where there would be no superheroes because there's no crime? What do you think that would be? I think like
Ah,
Iowa or Ohio or something like that. Or like
definitely not Ohio. I know
Michigan.
some people that live in Ohio.
Oh yeah, Greece. Anyway, anyway, yo, I'm telling you, I've never been to Ohio, but it sounds like nothing goes on down there. But just from like I have two friends, counting Reese, that live in Ohio. From what the other person tells me, he's like, yo, this place sucks. So,
But there
but
is
but
Cedar Point though.
there is I don't know what that is, but
Cedar Point is basically like the amusement park that I want to visit.
okay, cool.
Like that's a dope ass amusement park.
Is it
It's
like
just like
Six Flags or Fun Zone or Disneyland?
it's like way better than Six Flags. It has like the world's biggest roller coaster there.
Interesting.
It just
Um,
launches you 400 feet straight up, and then you fall straight down.
Interesting. Anyway,
If I had to guess a place without crime,
mm, Alabama,
hmm,
somewhere in the
Walmart.
Midwest. Walmart. Yeah. You, specifically Walmart's in like Georgia.
No, dude, there's
No,
so
God.
much crime in
No,
Walmart
God.
in general.
Anyway.
That's kind of the irony of it. But
Anyway,
I'm gonna say Kmart. Final
K
answer.
Kmart. Final answer. Gotcha. Maybe he'll start being a doctor at a Kmart in some random place in the world. Anyway, Luke's like trying to call a cab because they're trying to get home, and he's like, "Look, so there's this thing," and he's like, "No, no, no, you're coming home now." And he's like, "Someone killed me, and I need to find out who they are." And he's like, "And I don't want you like I don't want anyone near them with you." And he's like, "We can get a sitter." And he's like, "I don't trust the sitter. You're bulletproof. You need to be with her because this guy came up and shot me, and I trust you." And he's like, "I can't go through losing you again." And he's like, "Don't worry, we'll get through this, and I'll be back home." You know,
It's
I'm
gonna take more than killing me to
me to
kill
kill
me.
exactly 100%. And it's like
I,
you come back to me or else Jones like I promise. And then the cab guy's like honking at him like you gonna get into what? And then Luke Cage is like looking at him, bro. It's like, are you serious? It's like take your time. Anyway, do you not think that like Mike Coulter, the guy that played Luke Cage, it kind of looks like him, right? Like 100% they killed like the look for Mike Coulter, bro. Like he looks perfect as Luke Cage. Anyway, um she goes to Doctor Strange's sanctum. She starts knocking on the door and she's like, "Yo, it's really early. It's like it's almost 10." He's like, "I stand by my statement. Can you go away?" Nope. All right, come in. And then there's these snakes. Best character in the entire comic. She's like, "Ooh, rough night. We can help, girl. We're extra helpful, lady." And she's like, "Don't talk to the snakes or do what you want. I don't care." And anyway, they go in and she's like, so what's bringing you here at this ungodly hour? It's like it's 10 o'clock, but whatever. It's like it's a magic bullet. And she tells her the whole story. It's like, is it a magic bullet? And he's like, I don't know, is it? And he's like, it's a bullet. It's like, no magic. Is there anything there? Something? Come on, what? Tell me what it is. Like, does it make this right here is actually really funny. It's like, does it make right turns in midair to kill presidents, or goes in your brain and doesn't actually kill you? That whole thing. Makes midair turns to the right or and kills presidents is supposed to be a Magneto thing. Um, in one of the like stories, JFK's assassination is not the main target of what's his face and the guy that kills him. Well, I was gonna say John Wilkes Booth, but I think that's Lincoln. Anyway, um, they shoot and by accident, like I think he was going after like Xavier or something, and by accident he curves the bullet from Xavier, like and it kills JFK. So
Wanda didn't miss.
Magneto is responsible for the death of JFK. Addicts, you're one step closer, bro. Well, you got the president just wrong time period, bro. You'll get him next time. Uh, anyway,
Wanda doesn't miss.
anyway, he's like, no, this is a regular bullet, and he's like, then why'd you call it magic? I didn't. I thought you'd just. I didn't think you'd bring me a normal bullet. This is a waste of my time. And he's like, but you, Jones, you've been touched by something like magical. Something's going on with you. Like, you look weird. Like something's going on. It's like, good luck. Next time, don't knock until it's afternoon, or if it's a life and death situation. She calls him a dick and walks out. And she's back at Alias Investigation, trying to figure out, what's going on. She's looking for like the stuff that relates to Dia, and she cross references her cat, whose name is Meatball, to known locations of people who have taken pictures on the internet of Meatball and or like things called Meatball. And on her way there, she gets stopped by none other than Missy Jones, who, if you guys, Misty Jones, sorry, if you don't know who Misty Jones is, I can cover her. She is an old flame of Luke Cage. So Jess and Luke, or Jess and Misty, obviously hate each other because both of them had a thing for Luke Cage. She worked for a bunch of different teams, including running Heroes for Hire, and she lost her arm fighting the Hand. She got a cybernetic one instead. It's pretty cool character. She's like, she comes in and she's like, Jones, really? It's like, damn right. And she's like, ACD looks like you're missing the final, whatever, blah 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 blah. She's like, they're making jokes pretty much, but she's like, I run the abnormal crime division. She's like, yeah, that's not too offensive. She's like, well, I didn't name it, blah 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 blah. They're like going back and forth on each other, and she's like, the vacuum left in a world without shield. I wasn't willing to take the risk on who filled it. Blah blah blah. They're just going back and forth on each other. Pretty much, the purpose of this is that they're trying to like get information off of each other, um, and trying to figure out like did like Missy's trying to figure out did Jessica Jones actually do it and what actually went on here, while also like simultaneously insulting each other. Um, so she's like, you're the first one to survive the like bullet hole. White Rabbit and Skeen, who are two like villains, appear to be dead. Crime scene is eerily familiar to yours. A couple female D-listers that either had powers or were perceived to have powers. So she's like, I'm not on the deal list. She's like, that's barely enough. She's like, come on. Anyway, they start looking at each other, and the phone rings, and Misty gets up. Jessica starts typing on her computer, and infamous monster hunter superhero Elsa Bloodstone is found dead. So there's another female that has been shot, um, and unlike Jessica Jones, every one of them, to our knowledge, is dead. So she's like, wonder what else has been crashing. She's got to find a place, and she's like, I can start by calling a bunch of people that she knows. So she's trying to get the phone call or that phone number of Nico Minoru, who, if you remember, is the girl with the staff of one from the Runaways. She's like, I don't know how to get her number, but I can call Kate Bishop, who picks up the phone. Kate Bishop does not stop talking. She's like, oh my God, Jess, you're actually here. I love you so much. I have so much to tell you. Blah blah blah. Blah. She's like, Kate, I need Nico Minoru's number. Can you give it to me? We'll catch up later. No, I won't. And she's like, oh my God, I don't have Nico's number, but I have Carolina's, who is her girlfriend. So I can give you that. And then she ends up calling Carolina. She's like, of course I have Nico's number, but I'm not gonna give it out to anyone. She's like, it's about Elsa. It's like, oh yeah, I saw in the news. Hold on. And she gives him the number. And then she calls Nico, and she's like, is she okay? He's like, I don't know. I just need an address or something. And she gives her the address of where she's staying, which is this place in Midtown Manhattan. And she goes and visits. Very expensive, by the way. Um, but when she goes inside, she's like wondering what's going on. And then she stands up. She turns around, and she gets smacked in the face by a guitar, crashes into a table, and then
This is the most action that's happened.
yep, this is the most action that's happened. And she gets up, and damn, look at this beauty, bro. I wish Snoopy were here so that he could talk in a British accent, but I'll do my best. It's like, fuck, don't tell me you're the bloody one that this too, Jones. That's my British accent as best as I could. I wish Snoopy were here.
Oi,
If Snoopy is in chat,
well,
he needs to join.
Elsa Bloodstone, alive and well.
Yeah, yeah. Is that your British accent? You sound
that's
like cracked out butcher from the boys.
that's that's good. Maybe
Yeah,
don't tell me you're bloody in on this too, Jones.
yeah. Perfect,
Bloody hell.
perfect. Elsa Bloodstone, Monster Hunter.
Hey!
She is by far like part of the Midnight Suns team. One of my favorite
Oh
like of
yeah.
that Midnight Suns team.
I'm sorry there,
Yeah,
Jessica James.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
uh, chapter two. Um, so she's back talking to the other guy. It's like, she's like, where am I? Blah 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 blah. Something about her and this guy's like shooting women and whatever. She's pretty much like, she's like, pretty much like the guy that she's talking to is like, you never understand why you're doing this. Is like the harm. It's not like you can't trick me. I know what I'm doing. It's like you keep making things worse for yourself by talking. You have no idea, but I promise you, I'm going to find out. She's trying to find this person is trying to find like the people that he wants. He wants to get revenge on people that like have powers. You'll see as you read. It's like Elsa Bloodstone, Monster Hunter Extraordinaire, Mouth of a Sailor, and she killed a monster with a spoon before she could walk. That's pretty cool. Anyway, here's Elsa. Injury from the bullet shot. Hair to rival Misty's. Pissed off expression. Anyway, Elsa. Who? Oh, by the way, she will appear in the MCU for a Halloween special in 2022, played by Laura Donnelly. I left that note for myself so I could look you guys up. This is her. I'm pretty sure she was in The Walking Dead, or like Game of Thrones, but I don't know. Yeah, she is set to appear as Elsa Bloodstone, who I'm excited for. Anyway, um, they're talking about how like they're on this case. It's like looks like I got shot 2 days ago and miraculously I'm fine just like you. It's like, well, aren't we a couple of badass motherfucking bitches? And they're like, Except I don't think that's all to it. Don't use like fuck no. Fuck no is my right kind of answer. She's like, all right, we can figure this out together. And it's like, okay, but we have to do it while we
We're
work.
friends now.
Yeah, we're friends now. We can
Thanks
do
for
it.
smacking me with guitar. We're friends now.
Yep, pretty much. She's invulnerable. It didn't hurt. Anyway, she's like, we can do this while we work. She's like, work, and she's like, yep. I have to go kill these monsters. She's like, can we get like sit down for a second before we go? Maybe grab a coffee. She's like, does what I'm putting in this bag look unserious to you, darling? Does it look like we could bloody? I wish I could say it in a British accent while being fast, like, but you get what I'm saying. She's putting a freaking like Morning Star in a bag, bro, and she's like, damn right, I was packing weapons so I could head off to the monster to the Hudson River. I got shot in the back of the bloody head, and it's not like those monsters just went, oh great, let's give up on trying to eat people. No, instead I imagined that after I got taken out, everything got way fucking worse. So you can interview me while I bash those monsters' head in, or you can wait in line.
Bloody hell!
Bloody hell. It's like, well, when you say the Hudson River, you don't literally mean the Hudson River. And she's like, yes, I do. I went to school by the Hudson River. It's pretty cool. Anyway, here they are, and she's like, so we're right in the middle of the Hudson River. Here are these like swamp creatures. She's like, you want a sword or an axe? And she's like, you pick. She's like, you look more like an axe girl to me. Anyway, they're talking, and she's like, oh fuck no, you're not ready for that shit, Jones. And yeah. So she's like, so anything I should know? He's like, chop hard at anything that doesn't look like me or civilian. And then they start like fucking decapitating monsters. And she's like,
Bloody hell!
bloody hell! It's like for the last time, Jones. You know,
It's a mozzie!
it's a yeah. So pretty much they're talking about like
It's a mozzie, bloody hell!
yeah. All right. Well, at least at this point they're talking about like how long it's gonna take. And she's like, so you really didn't see the shooters? They know if I did, they'd be dead. And she's like, did you ever hear of Dia Slode? And she's like, holy shit, I did. And he's like, don't tell me she had something to do on. She's in on it. She asked me to kill her a couple like months ago or whatever. She begged me to kill her. And she's like, well, did you? She wanted you to kill her, and she's like, yeah. She came to me a couple years ago in tears. Somehow she was a monster, and she knew I killed monsters, so she wanted me to kill her, like a mercy killing. She's like, well, you didn't kill her, right? She's like, give me some credit. I wouldn't kill her. Um, and she's like, she's like, well, was she a monster? And she's like, yeah, it depends on your point of view. Aren't we all monsters? And then she does this kickflip and decapitates this swamp creature with her leg. Mommy. Anyway, um, you know, they're talking about how like, she was shot in the head recently, blah blah blah. Hard to say. She's Jones, and I'm trying to be deep. She certainly isn't some, mindless sea monster like this motherfucker. It's like, you know, well, I'm still investigating. There are, obviously some oddities around the case, but yes, I found her body on my floor, and she's like, yeah, that usually seals it. But you still need to investigate. No offense, Jones, but you might be in the wrong line of work. And she ends up tossing the axe and fucking decapitating or stabbing this dude through the brain. It's like I've called several times to make sure the corpse is still at the morgue. Uh, Unlike us, she appears to be staying dead. She's like, okay, but so what's the question? He's like, right, when you met her, when she thought she was a monster, like, what made her think, did she have powers or something? It's like hard to remember. It was more than a year ago. She said something about, what was it, being careful what she wished for. She's like, yeah, that was it, not trusting her thoughts. She's like, how did that end? She's like, I talked some bloody sense into her, gave her some tea and whiskey, put her in a cab, and never heard from her again. It's like, do me a favor, let me know about her funeral. I'd like to go. Have one, have I could have done more for her. She's like, me too. And he's like, if you ever give up the PI badge, I could always use a woman who's good with a mother effing axe. She's like, deal. And then they walk off, and she heads to the bar that her Dia's old boyfriend used to visit. The Mengerie, Menagerie. Anyway, it's where they found the two other girls that had died, the D-lister villains. She's like, hey, I was hoping, and the bouncer's like, yeah, you're in. It's like, okay, straight. Maybe it's a leather jacket or leather pants or the wet t-shirt. It's like, I'm trying to find a couple people here. Do you know who this person is? Like, she looks familiar, but I can't be sure. It's like, what about her boyfriend? He's like, oh yeah, that jackass. I've seen that. Okay, I've seen that girl that looks a little like the guy. It's like, yeah, White Rabbit threw him out a couple weeks ago. Um, or rather, she had me do it. She's like, no, ma'am. She didn't exactly, share her thought. Um, it's like one more question. Have you seen skiing around here, or maybe a super villain or former super villain? It's like, yeah, she's come in here. She's come in, nice girl, deserved better than she got. Of course, it happened she's like, you know what happened to her? It's like, of course, it happened upstairs 2 days ago after the rabbit. Same as a rabbit, bullet in the back of the head, and it's not easy to kill those women. So she's like, you could talk to Anna at the bar. She's like dressed up as a cat, and they walk in, and here's Anna at the bar, and is like, yeah, what's up? It's like, the bandster told me you knew Skeen and you might want to talk. She's like, I don't know, I didn't see anything. I wasn't even working that night. Look, and she's like, yeah, sorry, I'm a PI. It happened in the club. How's it still open? She's like, because it was upstairs. The cops blocked it off, and they didn't want to close it off because of the business partners. She's like, people are mean. I mean, people that said that Rabbit are crazy, but she was smart and she didn't take crap from anybody. It's like Bouncer said that there's a guy with an injury or like an incident with a guy named Jared, and she's like, yeah, the guy tried to hit on Rabbit a couple times before she threw him out. It's like, you think he killed them? There's no way he could have taken both of them out on the best day. Rabbit didn't exactly have superpowers, but she was a badass, and Skeen actually did have legit powers where she could move things with her mind. So there's no way a guy with no powers could have taken them both on. So like, do you know if Jared had powers? And he's like, he didn't seem like a guy who'd be shy about showing off his powers. So it's like, she's like, if you know see anything else, just let me know. Um, but no way Stewart would let him back in here. It's like the bouncer, and then this dude comes up to her. It's really funny. This dude. It's like, what's up? And she's like, you're way too close. You gotta back off. And he's like, don't be like that. You're cute. We could be friends. She's like, nah, stay back. And then he grabs her ass and he punches her shit. That was it. It was just really cool that she knocked out teeth from this guy because he grabbed her ass and then slammed her into a wall. Anyway, she's like, I'm pissed, but you know, walk away, and she walks off. It's like guys think they can do whatever they want, and here she is back in her office trying to figure out where Dia is. So she's doing some investigating, getting her snack on, I guess. She's like, doctor said the bullet wasn't magical, but I was touched by something supernatural, so something's going on. I gotta contact Dia, see where she is and how she's related to all of this. So she's trying to figure her out. And Misty's outside banging on her door. She's like, Jones, you gotta open up. So like, all right, well, I don't have time for this. And so she prints out a document with all the information of where Dia could be, and then proceeds to jump out of the window, land, and break the sidewalk. Some chick comes out and says, hey, did you break our sidewalk? Nope, wasn't me. And she heads off to one of the locations where she think Dia and Jared could be. She breaks in. She walks in, and she's like, there's a photo of Dia and Meatball that were here, so it's a good chance they're here. She walks through. I don't know why I posted this picture twice. And she notices there's like an open door, and she tries to go inside and see what's going on. And she realizes that there's someone behind her. She's like, I'm not falling for that this time, and she grabs him and chokes him by the neck. But she realizes that that person was actually Dia trying to defend herself, and we cut back to Jessica with the other dude. Next chapter. Um, he's like, this time I'm worried about it. At first I thought so long as he's here, he's not hurting anyone, so what's the harm? But he's too controlled to not have a plan. It's like, so you see, it's clear to me that your problem is what your problem is. It's even if you can't see it, it's like, yeah, you want to hear it. It's like, not really, I don't care. It's like, your problem is fear. It's like, hi, you think so? It's like, I do. It's like, couldn't be more wrong. But soon enough, fear will be your problem. It's like, guess we'll see. Anyway, back to Dia in her office in New York, and she's like, you look pretty good for a corpse. And he's like, he didn't really follow you, did he? And he's like, Jared. He's like, no. And he's like, Jared didn't follow me. And it's like, also relevant. You're not dead, of course, but there's a body at the morgue. So how's that? And it's like, I can explain. She's like, yeah, damn right you will. She's waiting for an explanation. And she's like, how did you find me? My name's not on the lease. I pay with cash. There's no way you actually could have found me. She's like, pictures of meatball. And you good, bro? And yo, what's going on, bro? Out here dying, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm so tired, I'm just like delirious.
Hallucinating? You delusional? Yeah.
Yes.
Like try to figure out a way to stay up. Gotcha. I feel that. Um. So, gotcha.
15 more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you'll give me. All right. I'll try to finish this off as fast as possible. But Dia he hands her like a piece of like a picture, and she finds out that Dia was taking out the trash. She's like, damn, done in by walking and taking out the trash. So she's like, if you know he's here, then Jared will find me quicker. It's like I've been asking. It's like I failed you hard back
Jared.
then. Jared, yeah, that's the guy's name. Her ex-boyfriend. She's like, yeah, yeah. Is yeah, she good, bro? She's like, she's like, your day's been pretty shit. I know the last 72 days have been tough for you, but you weren't the one that got, was interrogated by the FBI, got shot, had to fight monsters, was arrested for murder in your own house, got hit on by a drunken perv, all by while being rattled with guilt. And she's like, when did you meet Jared? Refresh my memory. It's just like we met in high school. He was a sweetheart, and he was perfect. And it's like, and when you came looking on dirt for me, he wasn't sweet anymore. And he's like, no, he was still the sweetest guy, unless he got mad. And it's like, yeah. So then he got powers or some kind of things became worse. And this is like, no, the powers are mine. I'm the monster here. So pretty much, she wakes up one day. She has her like powers to wish things into reality. She starts like drinking coffee in the morning and getting up. And she's like, all of a sudden, you know, I was up. I was happy with Meatball or whatever. And Jared comes in. He's like jealous and resenting the fact that she has powers and he's messing her life up. And he beats her, I guess. And he couldn't handle that I had powers. He just, it made him so angry. And all I could think of was if he had powers like me, maybe things would get better. So she got the power from her. She gave him his powers. Mind you, Dia is like really strong. She has the power to like warp reality. And so it's like I didn't mean this to happen, but it is what happened. So it only got worse from there. I eventually had to run from him. But then it's when I found you. I got desperate, and when I came back to look for you, I your office door was locked and I couldn't get in, or your office door was locked and I wish I was and wish it wasn't. So then it wasn't. And then I walked in and took a seat and I was waiting for you, and all I could think about was like being away from him and like hiding from him and getting away from him and being free from him. So then my corpse was dead on your body on your floor, and I knew this was like the best solution was to fake my death, so I left. And I'm sorry, but I just took the chance and walked away. And Jessica's like, yo, you didn't think this would be bad on me? Like people would blame me for your death. It's like you don't know how the cops happened to show up to the scene. Then it's like, no, maybe Jared was following me and called it in. Um, he's like, well, that's one hell of a story. And she's like, um, you, I, blah, blah, blah. And you're gonna hear this. Yeah, I know. I'm like I'm trying to rush through this while making the story coherent, so that you could also get to sleep, but the viewers can get their story in as best as possible. But anyway, she's like, you're not gonna want to hear this, but you gotta come back to Manhattan with me. And she's like, no way. She's like, yes, Jared's killing women, and you're the one responsible for giving him the power. You need to correct this. She's like, he'll kill me, and he's like,
Jared.
yes, Jared. And he's like, he's like, he'll try, but he's not going to let that happen. He's like, he killed you. How are you gonna stop him? He's like, the powers came from you. You're stronger than he is, and I know that. I know a lot of people with powers. You gotta stop him. It's like, let me give you another reason. You ever want to be in a relationship again? You gotta face it head on, and you gotta stop this. And then it didn't end up working. You know. So Jessica got into her car and drove off, and she gets a text. Ring ring, and she puts on the or well, not a text, like an alert. She puts on the radio, and she's like, crime has devastated the city's young iconic woman, lost far too soon. NYPD has offered no comment. This might be connected to the attempts on the murder of the two other high-profile New Yorkers, Jessica Jones and Elsa Bloodstone, and we have more as this develops through the day. She gets to this office, and she's like, he's definitely moving up into the world because he's killing like high-profile women now. And she ends up coming. She's like, I changed my mind. She's like, I see that. How did you get here? He's like, I've been practicing my powers, and I wished myself here. He's like, okay, but this isn't your office. Where are we? She's like, I had to make a detour. Don't freak out. There's been another murder. He's like, probably not. Just wait in the car. Um, and just sit in the car and wait for me. And she ends up sitting in the car and waiting for her. She's like, I gotta bluff and break in as best as I can, or maybe I can spot a friendly face. Addicts, what friendly face do you think it is?
It's Jared.
It's Jared. It's not. Oh God, Peter.
It's Magneto.
Oh God, Peter. And it's Spider-Man. All
Of
right,
course,
all right,
Spider-Man's
all right, addicts. All right,
everywhere.
addicts. A high-profile celebrity in New York just died. Which is this high-profile celebrity? that is also related to Spider-Man and is a female. High profile celebrity, female, New York, related to Spider-Man.
Black Cat.
Oh my god, you suck so hard, bro. You're literally the worst. Really? High profile celebrity, maybe someone in Broadway, maybe an actress that's dating Spider-Man.
Mary Jane?
Yes, thank God, bro. It's like she's dead. He's in shock. He's like, I always know what to do, but now I don't know what to do. He's like,
Oh
I
no.
he's like my yeah, and he's like, he's like, I'm gonna tell you what to do. You're gonna go home, and I'm gonna get up there and find out what happened. I'll call you soon. He's like, yep, leave for now, and then come back later.
So Mary
And
Jane's just dead.
Mary Jane has been killed. And he gets off. He walks off. She breaks into you know, breaks
By
into the
Jared.
breaks by Jared. She breaks into the crime scene, and she's at Mary Jane's office or apartment or whatever. And she's like, she walks in. She's like, Jesus, I'm in the wrong line of work. This is like super great. And there's a dude standing in front of her body bag, and he's like, Yo, get away from her. It's like I can't do that. And Jessica starts charging. It's like, back off. You don't understand. And it turns out to be Jared. She's like hell I don't. And he's like, you have to let me finish. He looks at her and she's like, I'm trying to fix her. I fixed you, like I fixed everything else. He's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, he shot you and I made it like it didn't happen. I can't do it again, but I can do it again, but you have to let me finish. And he starts to like heal her back up. Like something brought me back to Elsa too. Maybe this was it. I've been looking for Jared, the killer, but it's possible that Jared's been the savior all along. And she wakes up. And is like, holy shit, he's alive. He did it. I'm like, Jared, what the hell's going on? And he's like, it's complicated. And he's like, I buy that, but start talking. He's like, and they unzip Mary Jane. The doctors come and bring her down. And he's like, you two stay back or stay put. I'll be back. We're not even done, close to done here. And Jared starts explaining. He's like, I've been trying to fix the bad things he does, but I didn't know at first, and it's I was too late for some of them. It's like the White Rabbit and Skeen. And he's like, yeah, and Dia. He's like, he doesn't know she's alive. I gotta keep that in my pocket now. He's like, he's a monster. He's done everything rotten, everything I don't want to be. And he's like, I think you mean everything you could be, you never could be. And then Jessica Jones gets knocked out by this guy dressed up as a cop, and she, she's like, damn, it feels like I've been hit by a truck. And he's like, she looks up and she immediately figures out who it is. We don't, cause light. And then he proceeds to her face in, and Jessica Jones, Jessica Jones gets knocked out. It's like, and
Jared.
I can see it by well, is it Jared? Wah wah wah. Here's Jared down here. He's also tied up. It's like I can see now how all the pieces fit, but living long enough to tell the tale, that's the question at mark. So I see there's a grand plan here because so far it's a lot of waiting around and I'm getting a bit bored. And while we're here, why doesn't Jared have a costume? I mean, here I am in this ridiculous lightning bolt swimsuit and he's just in jeans and a t-shirt. Like, how is that fair? Seems like
It's
seems a
because
little
his name is fucking
seems a
Jared.
little sexist to me. Well, it's because he's a dude. I would assume that's why. It's because he's a dude.
Oh,
Like
he's just lame ass
lame ass Jared.
Jared.
I mean, clearly you have no issues with
I
women at
want a
all
comic. I want a comic with lame ass
with
Jared.
lame ass Jared. And should the what is it, the fucking headman be in that comic too? Maybe like we get some more useless characters. Omega Red and the Cosmic Calculator and Jared. And here it is, the
Give
villains of the
Jared the
tale.
cosmic calculator.
It's bad Jared and good Jared. I can't wait to kill you all over, lady. Yep. So how is this possible? There's a bad Jared and a good Jared, but they're the same person. And Jessica ends up
Of course, it's fucking Jared.
it's Jared.
Of
Jared is
course.
both the hero and the villain. And Jessica ends up breaking out. He's like, if you could do that the whole time, why didn't you? Why'd you wait so long? And he's like, well, Jared has Dia's powers and this both. Blah. Well, Dia's powers and this both yours and other Jared's seem to warp reality. So if I break from this in front of him, he'll just make harder chains that I can't break. Then he's like, okay, that makes sense. And he's like, freeing, she's freeing her, and then in comes Dia, and she's like, hey Jared, she's like, you're alive, and he's like, yeah, I wondered if if you were here. And he's like, yeah, I did the invisibility thing. You would be really proud of you. I hoped you would. I'm really proud of you. Okay. Blah. God, I can't speak. And she's like, I've never been more frightened in my entire life. She's like, welcome to superpowers. Think you can help me with this rope or whatever, these chains. She's like, no, she has to get away from me as far away from here as possible. He won't stop until she's dead. That's all he cares about. Everything he's done about is about getting to her, killing her. She's like, yeah, I'm aware Dia's a good person, and she's not gonna let evil Jared continue on this killing powerful women spree. So we gotta stop him right now, right, Dia? She's like, yep. And they break the chains. And he's like, I'm so sorry for everything, Dia. Like, I woke up one day with Dia's powers, but it was hard for me to control. It just like it was for her, and I didn't feel like it didn't make me like how I thought I would be, like better and more control. It made me more angry. I hated myself so much, and I wished I could just get rid of everything bad about myself and only keep the good. And when he wished on
Good
it,
Jared versus
good
bad
Jared
Jared.
versus bad
It's
Jared. Yup.
Marvel at his finest.
Yup. On God, bro. He wished for all the bad to be sucked out of him, and it became bad Jared, and all that was left was good
Didn't
Jared.
even get another name. Just
Just
Jared.
Jared. Just Jared. Good and bad Jared. It's like this is the worst thing I could have possibly
What
done.
a
He's everything awful about me, disgusting, everything shitty. Um. Anyway, it's like, and he wants to kill Dia, and I'm so sorry. And it's like, okay, now let's take a couple notches down, Jared. If he's evil, you just wants to kill Dia. Why is he killing these other women? He's like, some of them are women like you, and also who he believed helped Dia, and who he's putting and he thought he put in their place, as far as I can tell. And he's like, others are just women who insulted him or got in our way, like Skeen and the White Rabbit, and even Miss Watson. Um, and he's like, I don't know what he was doing yet. I mean, we're not like the same. It's not like he knows what it's not like I know what he's thinking, but when I realized he might be behind what's happening to Skeen and White Rabbit, I started to follow him, trying to fix what he broke. He's like, do you know why he wants to kill Dia so badly? There's a reason we're missing beyond the fact that he's a complete dick with control issues. It's like, no, I don't know. It's like, you got to dig deeper than that. I know you don't like being in his head, but you're obviously the person who knows him best. I mean, at one point you were him. It's like, even though you abhor these feelings now, they were once your own. You got to dig deep, and we desperately need it. And she's like, while you're doing that, in the meantime, you know, like I said, people underestimating my power. Whole thing may not look like it, but we're about to save the world, blah, blah, blah. And they go to Doctor Strange again. It's like, did I not just tell you yesterday? It's like, it's 12:01. It's like, you did say it's afternoon. It's like, this time it's an emergency. And it's like, is it a costume emergency? Blah, blah, blah. The snakes are talking. He's like, nice legs, lady. It's like, I thought you were reformed and nice snakes now. And she's like, yeah, we're being nice. Talking about your nice legs. And ha ha ha, snakes are MVP of comic. And they ignore the snakes, Thea. And Doctor Strange tells her to ignore the snakes. She tells Thea to ignore the snakes. And so he's like, your little friend here, yes, I recognize her. It's like, from where? It's like, when you came by yesterday, I saw her energy. Like, she left a magical fingerprint on you. She's like, okay, well, Dia, by the, by the power nat, okay, okay, well, blah, God, I can't speak today. Okay, well, Dia came by the power naturally, but Jared sort of inherited from her. It's like inherited. Oh, I see. Oh, she gave it to him with her own power. Interesting, or intriguing. Well, then Jared wished that he could excise all the bad from him, and it ended up splitting him in two. And he's like, yeah, well, you can probably imagine jamming all the crappy parts of a person into one person has created a villain. It's like, because we certainly need another one of those. It's like, exactly, I'm trying to take care of that, and they need your help, or rather, they need your help training, and they need to better control their powers. So don't end up with
Doctor Strange
10
just
inches.
portal.
Yeah, yeah. 10 inch,
Easy
so don't
fix.
end up with 10 inches of forehead and like 10 inches of forehead. Um, it's just a metaphor. Anyway, blah 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 blah. They're talking and they're trying to train. Doctor Strange is about to train Jared and Dia, and she's like, look, I'm gonna make a call and say, who you calling a friend? He's like, you're leaving, aren't you? I don't want you to leave. What if evil Jared finds us? Like, he won't. If he does, this place is like a fortress. And
What if evil Jared finds us?
in
Oh
this
no,
fucking
not
sanctum,
evil Jared.
evil Jared versus Doctor Strange, we need that. And he's like, by the way, and anyway, she calls in reinforcements and Elsa Bloodstone. It's like, don't freak out. I want you to. I don't want you to freak out, but this is going to come down to you. I may be hard to kill, but superpowered punches are no match to someone who can bend reality to their will. why can't Mr. Strange do it or call the Avengers? She's like, I know from very personal and
Yes,
from
yes.
experience.
Evil Jared
Evil
is
Jared
an
versus
Avengers level
he
threat.
is.
Yes.
Yo, he can warp reality, so he technically is. Anyway, she's like, you, you gotta take responsibility and stand up. You're stronger than he is, and you know it. Yeah, you need to own it. That or we're gonna die. And in comes Elsa. She's like, don't think I'd be babysitting on my own. You're gonna owe me when this is over. And then the stakes are like, hey, look, hey, Red, look at them legs. They go all the way up. I think you're a leg man or a snake. Yeah, I think you are too. And she, fucking Elsa comes up to the snakes like, you say another nasty thing like that to me again, snakes, and I'm gonna tie your sodding tails together and exclamation point. And yo, bro, if she spoke to me like that, oh God, I'd be looking at her like the way the snakes are, bro. I'd be like, yo, I just omno him, bro. Anyways, like, if you don't mind, Miss Bloodstone, this requires a great deal of concentration. It's like your stakes started it. I have no doubt, but please try to resist their stooping to their level. It's like I'll show you stooping to a fucking level. This is some favor, Jones. Whatever you're planning, it better be worth it. And Doctor Strange links the three of them, and eventually she gets her control of her powers. Meanwhile, she's at the East Riverside Park promenade, and she gets caught by Misty. She's like, "You're under arrest." Um, this isn't exactly what I had in mind. I called you Agent Knight, and she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you said it was big. I thought big deserves big." Dia Sloan, you're under arrest for starters. We'll see what else after we put you in the box. And here's Dia under arrest by Misty. So like, you should get these people clear. It's going to get bad fast. Like, you let me worry about that, Miss Sloan. She's like, Jessica told me you were annoying. It's like, yeah, well, it takes one to know one. She puts her in jail, and she's like, oh, you're very clever hiding from me, Dia, but you should have known I'd never stop looking for you. It's like, then I'm afraid you have bad news. And like, Dia's magic gets away from her, and she ends up beating the crap out of evil Jared. And then it's like, just stay down, Jared. Your life as a supervillain is over. And she's like, oh, contraire, Miss Jones, it's just beginning. Evil Jared power warping reality. Wah, 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 wah. Look at that. She's like a whole freaking Twizzler. She looks like or fucking Mr. Fantastic from Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. She's about to start turning into like 1,000 pieces.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Yeah, that's what happened. That's the sound effect that makes when she gets hit into the truck. Anyway, she's like, Miss Jones, I already killed you once. You'd think you'd learn. Though I'm impressed you're still in your costume. Perhaps you doth protest too much on that front, huh? It's like, or perhaps I just
It's
wanted
gonna take more
than
than
killing
killing
me
me.
to kill me.
Kill
Yes.
me.
Yep. That is the like tale of every story. But anyway, it's like, or perhaps I just wanted the world to see you get the crap kicked out of you by a woman in a swimsuit and stilettos, and in comes Elsa. She kicks him in the dick. It's like, that's for shooting me in the back of the head like a little pissy coward, you little fuck. And then she gets on top and starts hitting him with the bop bop bop. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, all right, and you all right, Jones? Like, yeah, been better. Please hit him harder. And she's like, that's right. And then Jared gets pissed off and he's like, stupid bitches don't know when to stay down. And he does that whole like, and he starts to, he lifts up Elsa and then slams her into the ground. And he's like, but if you won't stay down, how about you stay drowned? And dumps her into the ocean. And
What you?
but yeah,
Oh!
yeah. He's like, your witty banter needs serious work, kid. He's like, imagine my complete lack of concern. Never should have used a bullet on you. Anyway, it was too quick, too easy. Should have made you suffer. I would have enjoyed it more. Um, Guys like you always seem to have a problem with speed. And she's like choking her. It's like, how pathetic. And he's like, you you trying to say something? Make it good, Jones. Those words will be your last. And like, you feeling okay? You don't look too good. And here's Elsa getting up from the promenade. It's like, what do you wait? And then he's like, no, what have I done? Not me, big boy. What have you done? It's like, not me, big boy. See, we thought that it was just your extremely disturbing obsession with her that was driving you so hard to find her. But Dia figured it out. She realized that you already knew. She realized what you already knew, that because she gave you your powers, she could also take them away. And there's Dia, full power Dia. And she's like, Jared, it's your turn. We talked about this when you need to reabsorb him. And he's like, I don't want to. I don't want that horrible shit back inside me. Just look at him. Why would I want to take that back? He's like, I know you don't want to, but you have to. Why? If you could jettison everything horrible about yourself, wouldn't you? Hell yes. Would you take it back? Not a chance. But she said it in her head, so cause she's giving him a pep talk. And she's like, here's the thing that's tempting as hell. Anyone will want that, but it's not the way the world works. There's no magical out. You can't magic yourself into a better person. But you didn't learn any. It's like except you can. It happened. I did it. It's like, but you didn't learn anything, Jared. You removed the shit that was toxic, but you didn't learn why it was toxic. You did blah 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 blah. You know, you got to make sure it won't happen again. It's like, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's like, so there's a thing I'm gonna tell you. It's cliche, but you know, if we don't learn from from history, we're doomed to repeat it. There's a good chance that you'll become him all over again anyway. It's like, and if I was wrong about all that other stuff, which I'm not, but even if I think we all know how much damage a bad man can do with the world, to the world, even without superpowers. We see it every day. He just can't be allowed to exist like this. Blah blah blah. You have to take him back. You have to accept it. That shit is part of you, or at least, you know, learn to be a better one. Better. It's the only way. And he's like, no, 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 you can't do this. She's lying to you.
Like Captain America says, just be better.
Just be better. Like you tell me when we play Siege. Just be better.
Just be better.
Just be better. Anyway, I was like, no, I. Like, no, she's lying to you. No, I really wish she wasn't. And then at the end there. And then Misty arrests them. She's like, so you'll never guess who Misty said woke up at the morgue? Fuck no. She's like, yep, Skin
And
and White
then
Rabbit.
Jared went on to beat women.
Yeah, yeah. And she's like, yeah, Skin and White Rabbit woke up. She's like, wow, think by absorbing evil Jared, we undid his crimes. Could be reality warping. It's nothing if not complex. What will happen to Jared now? I don't know. The circumstances are obviously complicated, but he saved lives, and that won't go unnoticed. Plus, there aren't actually any murder charges to file now, so that'd be interesting. She's like, you owe me, Jones. Like, I thought we were even. Not all. You owed me. And and you, Dia, darling, I'm glad you're alive, but don't bloody come near me ever again. And they thank each other, and he's like, you're welcome now. Go back to your cat. And she gets home. She's like, you know, putting away the file on Thea. She's like, case in point, was there ever a bigger blind spot in my life than Luke freaking Cage or our daughter Danny? And then Luke Cage, why isn't my baby in bed already? And she's like, oh, sleep schedule was the first thing to go. I saw the news, you missed it. Or I saw the news, we missed you. And then they get together. And it's like, oh, I missed you too. And they hug it out. And that's pretty much it. The comic does end. It ends really funny. What is it? Tiger Shark comes in and like it's Danny's birthday, and so they're setting up in the morning, and She-Hulk comes in and starts babysitting, and She-Hulk takes Danny out for like a special day to get ice cream and walk in the park while Jess and Luke set up the birthday party. But fucking Tiger Shark breaks into their house and starts like wrecking shit. He's like, I waited for the kid to leave so I could have a fair fight against you. Didn't want to ruin the kid's day. And then he smashes Jessica into like the party room, and all like the party decorations get fucked up, and Tiger Shark walks in and he's like, oh no, I didn't know you were having a birthday party, fuck, my bad. And he's like, look, I'll head out, and he walks off. And like the comic is supposed to introduce a new Jessica Jones comic, but as he walks off, Danny comes back and she's all purple. And it's supposed to be a new comic in which Danny has been taken by the Purple Man. So yeah, that is that. But that is the Jessica Jones episode. I don't really have much else to do here, but just kind of talk a little bit more. She is very much like her comics are very slow paced like that. It's very much her, and her comics are very similar to that of like Black Widow, where they'll be like gathering evidence in the beginning and information, and then all of the action you'll see will be like right at the end. Um, she does join the Defenders with Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil, and then eventually she does become an Avenger with Luke Cage. And there's a lot more. I can like cover more from you guys if you guys ask for more. But that has been Jessica Jones Addicts. You want to give me a rating on her before we head off?
Very, very like grounded as character
Mm-hmm.
with hilarious, just ridiculousness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Jared.
Mm-hmm. Jared. There's more. Like I really wish I could have actually sat down and like done the dialogue for this character, because a lot of it is like she's very human. Like her character is like
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, would you take this shit back? She's like, definitely not. Like, but she doesn't actually say it. She's like, So it's like she's a very human character. She's very interesting because they added her story into what is like other pre-existing characters and had her have a relationship with like Luke Cage and Danny. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much Jessica Jones. Number rating. Give me a grade. Letter rating.
Say
Story
that's
rating.
a solid, just 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. All right, that's good. That's good. I do like her. I think it's a little like boring in the beginning because it's not like anyone killing each other, but it is a very thriller kind of story. I would give
I'm
it like a
kind of
eight,
into
eight,
that.
eight and a
I'm
half.
kind of
Yeah,
I'm kind of into
thrillers.
slow-paced stories
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah. It is. These her comics are really good reads. If you guys have any like questions or want to ask for recommendations of like any kind of comics, you can feel free to get me on my email marvelousmarvelbuddies at gmail.com or message the Marvel Buddies Instagram, which is now being run by my buddy Snoopy. Thank you, Snoopy. I guess he's running it. He just kind of made it and posted a couple images. Um, yep. And if you guys want to vote on characters, feel free to do so at the Google form. I have done all the character requests. This was my last character request. It was actually Snoopy, my editor, who requested it, which is why I left it for last. But yeah, this has pretty much been Jessica Jones. If you guys don't request any more characters, I'm gonna just start doing characters that I want, and I'm giving you like wacky shit. So if you don't request anybody you want, you're getting wacky shit. Um, and like like I mean terribly
but
wacky. You're getting
but
next week. You're getting
don't be
Ruby
fooled.
Thursday.
Don't be fooled. He says there's choice.
There's no
There's
choice. You're getting Ruby Thursday next week. Fucking ball chick, bro. This chick, where this chick right here, this one, yeah, that's who you're getting next week if you don't vote. Fucking Ruby Thursday or the Headman.
or Batman.
Or Batman. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Marvel Buddies episode. Or I'm gonna do the Headman. Look at this. Look at this dude. This is a gorilla. He's got a head on a gorilla body, bro. You're getting the Headman. Look at this guy. He's got spider legs, and this guy's just fat and old.
Great.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Uh, Chandu the Mystic. Yeah. Anyway,
it's
if you guys make sure to vote, make sure to come back for next week's episode on Marvel Buddies, and ask me questions. Feel free to do so. I don't care. I will answer as quickly as possible. Um, this video will be back up on the YouTubes ASAP. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Any last goodbyes, addicts, from you before I head off?
goodbye before I pass out.
Later.